Warhammer! Yes! Hello, simps and simpettes. It's your favorite Warhammer expert, Friendly Jimmy's here, with my battle report update. Yeah. I finally got tired of you asking for more Warhammer videos. Here it is, you cretins. Hey guys, I'm on the bullet train. From where? North Korea straight to Brisbane. It exists. North Korea's built it. Why am I going there? Because I've got a show on in Brisbane and I have a show on in Melbourne as well. And I have to catch a plane for that one. I think this is the first Warhammer video that we've done in 4 years minimum. And to address the perpetual comment, you should get a tat for the vid for when you got 1 million subscribers. Nah, that was a one-time deal. We said that I would get that tattoo if I got 1 million subscribers in 6 months. And that did not happen in the time period that my house was burnt down. And frankly, would take the house getting burnt down over having that permanently tattooed on me. I think that was a better price to pay. So what are we doing today? Game shop workers confess their sins.
Games Workshop. How many times? Every time.
What is it?
Games Workshop.
Games Workshop workers confess their sins. God, I'm excited about this, clearly. And collect Warhammer, obviously. It's not just a meme. Store has 2 areas. Oh. God, the spirit is itchy. A shop and a few tables for playing on, divided by some shelving. It is one of the few stores left that has space for the game to be played. Look, I am no Warhammer connoisseur, but I am one of those old people that like when you walk past a hobby shop and there's a little train model thing going past. Are those little men in the window shop? No, they're painted. That's very clever. But I think that you're talking out of shit. I think every time I've ever looked into one of them, there are people having a epic battle of epic proportions. Maybe I'm wrong. The shelving means the store manager can't see the play area that well. Unlovely, greasy men decides that the funniest thing ever would be to go up behind people and kiss the back of their necks while they play. Look, it's only funny because I'm not there. He's told repeatedly to stop, and he says he's just kissing the homies. That kid's a chat. They aren't his homies. Yeah, you didn't have to say that. That man does not have homies. They don't like him. Again, this is not required material. This is, if anything, extracurricular reading. He gets a warning. He continues to do so until a 17-year-old complains. Oh yeah, just like the paints in the back. 50 Shades of Citadel Base Grey. Threatens to get the police involved. Greasy Boy is formally banned from the store, but only for a few months. Being a is a 2-month suspension crime. You really got to question the clientele, hey? Any longer and a formal report needs to be made. I think you meant to say battle report, and they don't want that kind of trouble. And let's be honest, neither do you. The play area is officially off limits and is now used as just excess storage. Oh. That's why you can't play in store anymore. Well, the more you know. I worked at a Warhammer store in Caboolture. Really, I thought that Caboolture would be too pop for one. I didn't realise that car thieves played Warhammer, but it turns out... The Orc boys ride again. We had a regular that would come in, a rather big fella, would stand at the door begging to get one of us to go open the second door so he could fit through. Oh, my mistake, sorry, not orcs, ogres. And I do hope that this was in the days that you were still doing the tabletop game of Lord of the Rings, because he hath breached the second gate. Fall back! Fall back to the abandoned tabletop region. The store had an upstairs level used for the game. The people were quite loud and you could hear them from downstairs. Well, one day I was serving a customer when I hear, "Move, I got a shit," followed by loud footsteps as I look up to see this huge dude wobbling down the stairs. Lanesh, or whatever the his name is. When he slips falling down the stairs, landing on his back, I rush over to make sure he was okay, only to find that he had shit himself when he fell. Hey, he slipped on a banana just after it was digested. That is a way more comical spin on a classic, isn't it? Combining 2 favorites. He proceeded to get back up and make his way back upstairs to finish the game. Fuck me dead. He started playing with shit in his pants. I can see why you barred the doors. About 6 years ago, some nut job came in talking about Australian 40k while constantly muttering Simpsons references. I wonder who that was. He sounds like a real dick. Seriously, you. I know who you are. A couple of minutes later, the new opposition leader, Albanese, came in and handed him a briefcase full of cash. He then used it to buy 3 metal minis and even had enough left over for a single pot of pay. That is what it's like. I honestly think that there is not a better street slang word for something that is so unstreet than plastic crack. That is what Warhammer is. God, I'm glad that I have avoided the curse. At least should I publicly admit to. Also, I will pay this. This is a far more thorough investigation into me being a confirmed paid labour shill than anything that fuckwit Shane Dowling's ever done. I shouldn't have said that. You can see already.
Friendlyjordies has just confirmed recently in a video that he is a paid labour shill and was in the Warhammer store. He apparently traded in for 3 Warhammer figures.
I think the fact you're ripping on Ordis when your current stand-up show is just an hour or so of you info-dumping your own autistic hyper-focus is peak comedy. Correction. Every stand-up show I've ever done, thank you. In fact, I'm doing shows here right now. Get ready for the info dump. I know that probably sounds like a burn, but it's not meant to be. It's genuinely fantastic. Yeah, that classic friendlyjordies audience. They're trying to be nice. Trying. This one time I was working at a game store that did TCG tournaments. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, etc. Ah yes, the entire Milky Way with all the stars that accompany them. A kid comes up to me crying because someone at the locals traded him fake cards and asked if I could help him. Oh no, to quote Russell Howard, we've all done it. Feeling for the kid, I bought him a couple of packs for my own money. See, this is what I thought every Games Workshop was. Like the nice, fat, neckbeard version of a nurse. Fallen angels. Not the chaos type, the good angels. Just, you've lost your wings. You're Eldar, that's what you are. As soon as I said this, he froze and muttered, okay, and walked to the back room where we have our tournaments. He told me, oh no, he's not here anymore. Then acted like he was calling his mum to pick him up. I watched him leave, and hour to the game shop down the street. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from a guy asking if a weird kid had a sob story about trading fake cards. Wow, targeted in both stores. What are the odds? Probably far more likely that that's the real story than him making it up. I said yes, and he told me this kid pulled the same thing on him. Apparently this kid goes to all the local game shops and makes up this sob story just to get free Yu-Gi-Oh packs and cards from people with hearts. God, I wish I knew enough about the Yu-Gi-Oh game to make a good reference about it. That time wizard clock thing, is that somehow related to it? Look, I'll say this, thank I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh cards to make a good reference about it. Okay? Never worked at a Games Workshop before, but I shoved an entire stomper up me bum once. What's a stomper? Oh man, holy and I thought that it was just an expression that we were entering the grimdark universe. Oh boy, I've got some stories. I bet you do, any fully grown man that starts with, oh boy. Can't post all of them, but I'll chuck up some YouTube appropriate highlights. Well, this is the good thing about doing something about neckbeards. They actually know the terms and conditions of YouTube, thank you. Games Workshop used to have a set of CDs you must play. They went missing all the time, so you'd end up with the same 10 or so rock metal songs going on. Yeah, of course it's rock metal. I've witnessed co-worker yeet certain CDs across the car park because the music was driving them insane. Well, fair enough. I mean, if you've worked at a Target or a supermarket, you know what that same CD does to your psychology. Imagine if that was Games Workshop Select. Just an interesting side note, unlike games like Magic with 40k, the extremely unhygienic participants usually were the most hopeless at the game too. It's probably because 40k requires some form of being a general of some regard somehow. Maybe I'm a neckbeard, I just referred to someone playing Games Workshop as a general. In fact, neckbeards, help me out. What's the smell to skill ratio of all the games? Which one is there the direct correlation of, this guy doesn't shower to, my God, he's got. Oh, and we've got a story from a patron of ours. If he doesn't want his name mentioned, I will blur it out. At our office, when my other staffer didn't show up one day, my wife and I decided to make the most of the time away from the kids and go at it. Yeah, but if you're banning the tabletops, where? And also, how disappointing, because you really could have done an X-rated version of Gulliver's Travels, couldn't you? Thinking no one else was coming in, we were fully undressed over the gaming table, going at it. When we hear footsteps coming up the stairs, we scramble and get our clothes on when my staffer's younger brother had decided to show up for a visit unannounced to see where his brother works. When he's gone, we tidy up, wipe down, but don't think to replace the bin liners. The next day, the staff members come in and thinks he's dropped something in the bin the day before and starts rummaging around. I tell him, get your hands out of the bin. He thought I was joking. No, seriously, get your hands out of the bin. There's bodily fluids. What, like a Connie? But like, you're fucking your wife. They're not doing Dolmio grins, surely. Anyway, sign up to Patreon today and contribute. Use work at Games Workshop, but won't say which one. We had issues with a few of our regulars, but there are two that came to mind that stood out and both named Patrick. Just like the starfish. The first one we dubbed Nurgle Patrick for his overwhelming stench and disgusting food in beard demeanor. Yeah, okay, that was the guy that I was thinking about before, that Nurgle. Man, I think honestly, just like your miniatures, there is a real life Nurgle for every Games Workshop. He'd always fire up and get aggressive towards other regulars over losing games or whatever, and we'd have to call security. Classic Nurgle. One time police had to come and escort him out as he was being particularly stubborn, which he refused and tried to fight them off, resulting in him being tackled by cops with him yelling and spitting everywhere. Look, I don't know enough about the game, but I'm pretty sure that is what he does. Get infected by me. Patrick. It was an eventful day for the 14-year-olds at the painting table. The other Patrick we dubbed Slanesh. Oh, that's the guy that I it up with. I can't remember him. But anyway, pretty much after lunch on a Tuesday, this guy came back into the store to continue painting miniatures. Security followed him in shortly after and asked me if he worked here. I explained he's just a semi-regular who comes in all the time. Then security informed me that he had been caught reaching under toilet stalls trying to give people hand jobs in shopping centre bathrooms. Was Slanesh quite sexual? Let me just check that. Yeah, a lot of demonic phallic imagery surrounding, so I'm assuming as much. Ah well. At least he'd be a demon at the rub. Needless to say, he was politely escorted out and never saw him again. Ah, come on, surely you'd want to see him in the toilets. I was a red shirt for my local Games Workshop for a few years back in the early 2000s. Saw my fair share of basement dwellers. It is in a basement, isn't it? The weirdest one that stuck with me was just this kid who would come in every few months with an old White Dwarf magazine and a Sharpie. Peculiar. Anytime there was a new staff member, he'd ask to get the guy's signature in the magazine. Damn, that's that guy's level of celebrity. God, I wish he one day slipped up and ordered the magazine just to the left of the White Dwarf in the news agency, Self-Esteem Monthly. And this kid must have been traveling around because he was getting signatures from Games Workshop stores all across the state, and I'm pretty sure a few of them were interstate too. No explanation. Didn't come into game. He found a loophole. He is the one man that has ever entered Games Workshop and exited with the exact same amount of money in his pocket. I don't even remember him buying anything. Just popping in every few months with that White Dwarf and Sharpie. That has stuck with me for years. Well, why didn't you ask him? Right, because he's socially awkward enough to do that in the first place. Very good. I applied for a Christmas casual role when I was desperate for a job. I got a group interview, so I made an effort. Business casual, nice cologne, hair made nice. Yeah, but you're supposed to be a fat, smelly This is the only job interview where that wouldn't work. Turned out that was way too much. There we go. Before the task started, the manager put on a performative tone and announced, 1,200 people applied for this coveted role. We will only accept 10. A battle royale to death in miniature form will ensue. Many of you will be sacrificed along the way. Then suddenly the neck beard turns into a leprechaun beard. I'm doing my little happy dance. Our task was to invent and pitch a new board game. I was paired with someone who looked like they hadn't showered, had unkempt neon pink hair. Oh yeah, that's the best combo. Hey, shit dye, no care. Dandruff dusting their thin video game merch sweater. Hello ladies. I was clearly the odd one out. They were the brains of the game, but I was the pitcher. No idea what I was saying, just keywords from her and a bit of enthusiasm. We muddled through well enough that I got a follow-up phone interview a few days later, and then a final in-person solo interview. Yes, and so now we enter that tree in Star Wars. Wouldn't it be great if that is his, interview? You must face your greatest enemy, yourself. The final round, however, turned out to be nothing but a quiz. 15 of you remain. Only 10 will move on. Isn't it pathetic that this nerdy fat thinks he's the nerdy fat in Hunger Games? I sat at a magic house. One-on-one with the manager and spent 40 minutes being pummeled with ultra nerdy questions. My nerdiness extends about as far as getting drunk and playing Dungeons and Dragons. Hipster. So I bombed hard. The manager grew visibly frustrated as I kept dropping softballs like not knowing the starter Pokemon. 5 resources in Catan. Come on, you should know this. Water, stone.
2 is extra dry.
It's wheat, you imbecile. Wheat. You should have pitched that as your little game. Australian Catan. 2 is extra dry would have been the wheat. Or wheat bits. Actually, all of them would just be different types of wheat. Then came the moment that really stuck. What do you do after finishing a puzzle? No idea. Viking burial? What? No! I like how that is maybe an answer to one of the other things. You glue it together. We sell special puzzle glue. I have many puzzle tapestries in my home. I'm working on a 5,000 piece right now. He was furious. At the end, he flat out told me I wouldn't be successful. A few weeks later, I went back to buy a gift. Neon Dandruff sold me the board game. That is the natural order of events, and that concludes Game Shop Workers Confess Their Sins. Hey, you know what's coming up next? That's right. Oh, you don't know, only I know. Computer repair shop workers confess their sins. We are going to keep this nerd train going because just like the miniature trains you're obsessed with, just keeps going around and around and around. It's really good for views. See you next time.